Are you looking at purchasing insurance and worried about how much insurance you currently have on your car? Are you feeling lost and concerned that you're throwing away money without getting what you actually need? This isn't like adding appetizers to a meal when you go out to eat. The type of coverage you choose matters and can mean the difference between peace of mind and serious financial struggle. Don't worry though, we've got you covered with this video summarizing insurance coverage for your vehicle. I'm Jansen with the Biker Lawyers, joined today by Leehey, founding member and an attorney with 4 decades of personal injury experience. Every day we battle insurance companies on your behalf, fighting to ensure you get paid out correctly after your crash.
This uniquely qualifies us to tell you what insurance we wish our clients carried and how the whole insurance system works.
So let's get started with liability coverage.
Liability coverage is the first category you typically see when you're shopping around for insurance. It pays for injuries to another person caused by a crash when you're at fault. Let's be clear, it does not cover you when someone else crashes into you. It simply protects your finances when you cause a collision. This is an important distinction because if another driver runs into you and that other driver doesn't have insurance, carrying liability coverage will not help you. That said, you're going to have to get this anyway, as the state of Iowa mandates that you carry at least the state minimum of $20,000 per person, $40,000 per crash.
And when we say $20,000-$40,000, what that means is that your policy has a limitation of $20,000 of coverage for a single person and $40,000 of coverage for a single crash. Here's a quick example. If you run into another car and they have a driver and a passenger, that means that each person in that vehicle can recover up to $20,000 for a total of $40,000. Now, let's change one variable, and let's say that the car you ran into has 3 passengers. What do you think happens then? That's right. The total to be recovered is still only $40,000, so the individual recovery of each passenger in that car may vary.
Let's move on to the next category and discuss uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage, commonly referred to as UM and UIM.
Uninsured-underinsured coverage applies when you aren't at fault and the other driver's liability coverage isn't enough to pay for all your damages. This insurance is a must-have in today's world where 1 out of 10 drivers in the state of Iowa alone are breaking the law and carry no insurance. Here's a quick example. Let's say you're driving to your friend's house to watch the game when a teenager runs a red light and crashes into the side of your car. You wake up in a hospital and are told by your doctor that you'll need several surgeries and a lengthy recovery period during which you won't be able to work. The teenager's liability coverage is only that state minimum of $20,000-$40,000. So clearly, the teenager's liability coverage isn't going to be enough to cover all your medical treatment, not to mention your lost income. This is when your underinsured motorist coverage policy comes into play. If you were smart and had a UIM policy, it will pay out to cover your damages in excess of those $20,000-$40,000 limits that the teenager has. Note that your underinsured policy limits may come into play though, so make sure you have enough coverage in your UM-UIM policy. We recommend a minimum of $250,000-$500,000.
Of all the insurance policies you can carry, having a large liability and uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage are the 2 most important to carry. The good news is that uninsured, underinsured is very cheap to add on to your coverage.
Now let's get to the minor coverage choices. Medical payments, property damage, comprehensive, collision, emergency road service, rental reimbursement, and gap insurance.
Medical payments cover medical, dental, hospital, and funeral expenses for yourself and your passengers, regardless of fault. However, if you already have health insurance, this may not be critical. Of note, it does help cover injured passengers in your car that may not have health insurance.
Comprehensive coverage is commonly required if you're leasing or financing your vehicle. It pays for non-collision damage to your car, such as fire, flood, theft, vandalism, hitting a deer, hail, water damage, and broken windshields. Please note that this will have a deductible that you have to pay before your insurance company handles the rest. This coverage will not come into play if you're in a crash with another driver.
Collision insurance is also commonly required if you're leasing or financing your vehicle. It pays for damage to your vehicle caused by collision with any other object, or if you manage to flip your vehicle over. Specifically, it covers repairs to your vehicle when you're at fault for the collision. Again, this will have a deductible, typically that you have to pay before your insurance company handles the rest.
Property damage insurance pays for damage to the other driver's property when you're at fault for the crash. Let's make sure that sinks in. It does not pay for your property. That's what collision insurance and/or comprehensive coverage will help with. It pays for other drivers' property.
Emergency road assistance is an alternative to having something like a AAA membership and is offered in a variety of packages by each insurance company. It'll include help for things like locking yourself out of your car, needing a tow or a jump start, or help with a flat tire. Many insurance companies require you to also have comprehensive and/or collision coverage in order to select this option.
Rental reimbursement pays for a preset amount for a rental vehicle if your car isn't drivable for more than 24 hours because of a covered crash. Not gonna lie, gang, I've never bought this insurance before nor seen a need to, but if you're worried about needing a rental car after a crash, you can always go this route.
Gap insurance covers your vehicle when it's damaged or stolen and you owe more than your loan than the car is worth. This will typically only apply if you've leased or financed your vehicle.
To summarize, while everyone's situation is different, you should absolutely be carrying liability and underinsured/uninsured motorist coverage on your vehicle, preferably at $250,000 to $500,000 policy limits to ensure that if you're in a crash, whether it's your fault or someone else's, you have significant money to recover if the worst should happen and you're injured. All the other coverage types will depend on your personal preferences for risk and what you believe is correct for you and your family, but at a minimum, get a strong liability and UM-UIM coverage. I can't tell you how many cases we've had where the client wasn't able to recover fully for their injuries because they had the wrong insurance coverage and the other driver didn't have any. So please, protect yourself, protect your family, get the right coverage, and call us if you're in a crash so we can help you.